Welcome to Celebrity Vibes. Chris Evans says he wants to leave the role Captain America for Selena Gomez. We will damage it all down for you. But in the proceeding then we proceed, please. If you are new to this channel, please take a minute of your treasured time to subscribe and hit the notification bell for big updates. Let's dive into the video. Chris Evans loves Disney. We understand this from his tweets, from his pleasure at the premiere for Lightyear, from going to Disneyland, and being what the children name a Disney adult. I am one also, so I get it. So, seeing Evans take on the position of Buzz Lightyear in the upcoming film Lightyear just feels like the proper casting choice. But it additionally brings up a query in my mind. We had been in attendance at the press convention for Disney and Pixar Lightyear, and with it got here a very essential question. What different Disney persona would Chris Evans like to play? I ended up kicking off the press convention by asking Evans about his love of Disney and what it's supposed to him to play Buzz Lightyear, and who he'd like to address subsequent in the Disney canon. First of all, hello Rachel, I love Rachel, Evans said. And yes, this used to be necessary for me, the Rachel in question, to include. Taika Waititi additionally spoke back that I'm great. Just as I read that all on record. But now, return to Evans' response. I cherished Buzz Lightyear, I love Toy Story. When Toy Story came out, a form of kick the doorways down and phrases of a new strategy to the medium. So I used to be extremely joyful and excited to be aware of that there used to be extra to come. And to that extent, I cherished all the characters in Toy Story deeply. But outdoor of his love of Buzz, Evans has some other personality he'd like to play, that hot fox from Robin Hood. If there had been every other personality to play, I don't assume I ought to pull it off. I was once usually a definitely huge fan of Robin Hood, the historic animated Disney movie. I simply concept Robin Hood was one so cool. You know, I suppose of all the animated characters in the Disney library, Robin Hood stands alone. I assume he's simply clean and charming, and successful, and I don't have that cool British accent, however I'd love to supply it a crack. Evans doesn't suppose that he can take it on, however sure he can. You heard it right here first. Sure, he doesn't have a British accent, however he can get a vocal trainer. Hey, possibly all of a sudden Robin Hood is from Boston. It's fine. Just let Evans take on that warm fox. It's a crucial element for this world now that Chris Evans has long gone, and put it out into the universe. Disney gods, please go ahead, and hear to this one advice from Buzz Lightyear please. If California-born Kevin Costner can play Robin Hood in live action, I suppose Chris Evans can play that warm fox model of Robin Hood simply fine. And what a data provided to him as June 13th is Evans' birthday. So, please birthday, Chris Evans. I hope anybody items you the function of that warm fox. And perhaps some greater of these enjoyable shirts and sweaters you've been wearing. Whether in a romantic relationship, or in a friendship, Gomez stated she's viewed connections end up superior in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, and hopes it continues. I hope humans apprehend how fragile lifestyles is, however how stunning it is at the equal time. I've considered human beings grow to be lighter, greater patient, in reality having a lot of mental conversations, actual substance. You can inform that's came about with people. It's no longer simply like, oh, how you're doing. You choose to go and get dinner. It's so exclusive when you're with someone. You in no way get to feel that, or you're so concerned in your phone. I can just inform that the world is craving connection with people, and to be honest, I assume we lack that. No longer are press junkets stuffed with simplistic question and answer interviews for upcoming movies. Nowadays, followers desire to see their preferred celebs take on a sequence of challenges, activities, and trials at the same time as answering questions about themselves and their modern venture. Some of these new patterns have grown to be fairly well known in their very own right, such as Hot Ones with Sean Evans. The place celebs reply some as an alternative insightful questions at the same time as taking on spicy warm wings, then not a complete interview over at Wired. The place celebs reply the internet's most searched for questions about them. And then you have BuzzFeed's puppy interview, which Chris Evans just finished. The actor is presently advertising his present-day film Lightyear, taking on the mantle of Toy Story icon Buzz from Tim Allen in a spin-off that tells the story of the astronaut who is extra than simply. Sometimes life imitates art, and that is certainly the case here. Raise your hand if you agree that Chris Evans is Captain America. You've probably heard a bunch of different reasons for why Evans is so much like the comic book character he brings to life in the Marvel films, but one of the most important reasons has to do with the politically aware tweets he shares on Twitter. You may not agree with everything the Captain America star says, but there's no doubt he loves his country and only wants the best for it. The 35-year-old is heavily involved in politics and isn't afraid to tweet about it. He's politically passionate, which may turn some people off, but I always enjoy seeing a celebrity who refuses to stay silent. There are some who believe celebrities shouldn't talk politics, but seeing as they are human beings and they also vote, they have every right to voice their opinions publicly if they choose to. The Avengers star is all about America, which makes him a real-life Steve Rogers, aka Captain America. And if you need proof of his patriotism and heroism, here you go. In 2011, Chris Evans stepped into the red, white, and blue suit to play super soldier Steve Rogers in Captain America: The First Avenger. And while that suit changed over the next 8 years, the actor in the role remained the same as the Marvel Cinematic Universe expanded. It'd seem that 2019's Avengers Endgame would be the last we saw of Evans as Cap, but new reports surfaced on January 14th that the 39-year-old actor may be suiting up again for a future Marvel project. True Evans seemed to deny the rumors with a tweet that reads, "News to me, but hey, we can dream." Anyway, a lot can change over time. Not only did Evans bid the character farewell in a 2018 tweet, he wasn't even sure he wanted to play him in the first place. As MCU fans gear up for his possible return, let's look back on the time Chris Evans explained why he originally said no to playing Captain America. Ahead of the release of The First Avenger in 2011, Evans spoke to the AP about his reticence to take such a potentially high-profile job. "I'm a big fan of my privacy, my anonymity," he said. "You know, I've made films for a while, like I said, but it's always been a one-shot deal. A film like this, if it explodes, you don't have the opportunity to kind of get your footing again. You have to dive back into a sequel. And that's intimidating, and you're compromising a bit of the freedom you really enjoy." As Evans predicted, he spent the following 8 years of his life playing Steve in 4 Avengers movies, 2 Captain America sequels, a Spider-Man movie, Captain Marvel, and Ant-Man. And he did go from being a working actor who probably wasn't recognized every single time he walked down the street to being one of the most famous faces of his generation. Even back then, at the start of his run as Captain America, the prospect didn't seem very attractive to him. You can't turn off celebrity. Once you hit it, there's no rewind, Evans continued in the 2011 interview. "I've been lucky enough to have been around people who are much further down the celebrity road than I am, and you see what it means to be constantly bombarded as a celebrity. And it's always. It's not just sometime, it's all the time, and that's a tricky pill to swallow." Over the years, the actor has opened up about struggling with anxiety as a public figure. And on a 2020 episode of A Hollywood Reporter podcast, Evans shed more light on the specific mental health issues he was dealing with at the time he turned down Marvel's initial offer. "It was the first time I started having mini panic attacks on set," Evans said of filming the 2010 movie Puncture. "I really started to think, I'm not sure if this acting is the right thing for me. I'm not sure if I'm feeling as healthy as I should be feeling." He looked to people he trusted to help him decide about whether or not to accept the Captain America role. From his therapist to Iron Man star Robert Downey Jr., of course, he took the gig, and the rest is comic book movie history. In the same podcast, Evans said it was the best decision he ever made, and that, despite being right about that whole becoming hugely famous thing, all the things that I was fearing never really came to fruition. Chris Evans says that his nervousness and panic assaults led him to flip down his career-defining position as Marvel's Captain America Steve Rogers, earlier than finally accepting. "I sincerely commenced to think, I'm no longer certain if acting is the proper aspect for me. I'm now not certain if they will accept it. Please inform us in the comments. Please do now no longer forget about to subscribe and flip on the notification bell to see our modern day updates. Thank you.